Welcome to another AusComX show. Woo! I am Sizzle, and this way
I am the Morgan Quaid. Yes, we got it. Go
we
team.
got it. Woo! Today we are talking to Quick Nick, as he is known on the Friday night show, and we're going to be talking about his little story, the Budgy Detective, or Detective Budgy, I should say.
Detective
Budgy. Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's get on with the show.
All right, let's do it. Go team. Hey.
Quick Nick.
Wow, here we are.
You're here. You're in the hot seat.
I'm used to there being faces everywhere. But no.
Yeah.
You two.
Yeah, it looks a bit weird and empty.
Mm.
That's our thing. Should be our motto, weird and empty.
Weird and empty.
Weird and empty.
Weird and empty. All right. Sizzle, do you want to do an intro thing? Or we already did that. Did we do it?
We already did. We did it.
We already did it. All right. We did it.
From the
Welcome,
top.
Nick. Yeah, from the top. And let's start again. Welcome, Nick. Welcome to the ComX show. So let's get right into it. What's it like having hair?
Mm.
No, let's get right into it. So I'm going to start somewhere a little bit off kilter. So because it's not every day that we get someone that is broader than just the comics industry. So tell me about film and independent film and your involvement in independent film and such, because I believe there are stories there to be told. And then maybe we can talk about comics after that.
Sure. Well, I guess when I finished high school, I went straight to film school because I like films. And I've always been a drawer. I've always been scribbling little stories and stuff. But I wanted to do film. So I did that, made the best friends. I've still got them. This was over 15 years ago now. And I started making films through the film school, which is really fun, doing really cool, crazy stuff with like-minded people. And then film school ends, and then you start trying to make a living out of something you love doing. And it just, you like, you start doing corporate gigs, and you're editing. There's a friend of mine. We'll get to that. And you're editing like people around a table talking about stocks and insurance, and you're like, this isn't why I went to film school. So I started a YouTube channel after a few years with some friends called Fury Fingers, which we just saw. And Fury Fingers was like an outlet for like all that creativity and wanting to do stuff. And a lot of filmmaking was like doing application processing stuff, like trying to get your ideas up. And I want to create crazy, cool action stuff. And I've got nothing to show for it. So we made Fury Fingers, the YouTube channel, to really just learn and build a community of like-minded people and go for it. And that's, what it became. We were like casting ourselves originally, putting ourselves in makeup and using our fingers to put dirt on our face so we look tough and cool. And within a few years, we had makeup artists coming in and actors who wanted to do all the rough and tumble stuff. And we could just sit behind the camera where we wanted to be.
Nice.
And we were making video game spoofs and parodies and stuff like that. And we started getting noticed by like Konami and the Tomb Raider people. And they were sharing our stuff. And Ubisoft started funding some little shorts that we made. So we were never getting the big views, but we were getting like the right attention based on our like videos, because they were great and they were clever and they looked good. YouTube's all about making lots of content all the time, pushing it out, but we never really did that. We would make strong little films, put a lot of time into them. So our uploads are quite sporadic. But it's worked out all right because we've got some web series funded and made through that process. People have come to us, and I just made a web series 2 years ago, our second web series, and it's been doing really well around the world in like World Series web festivals and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
To more opportunities that we're exploring now.
Oh, that sounds awesome, man. That's really
Yeah.
cool. And what so where you were saying before you've always sort of been drawing, have comics always been a big part of your life, or is that more of a recent sort of thing?
Well, comics have, but more so just like stories have been more important to me. Like, and then when you're making films, and there was a time when we were making lots of films all the time. When Fury Fingers was like red hot. That's where all my creativity was going. But then as we wanted to make bigger, better stuff, the actual output we had was becoming bigger and bigger and longer and longer. And that's when I'm like, me, the creative, is like, I need to make a comic. I'm going to start drawing and making, and I need to make stories. I need to. And that's where Detective Budgy came about, because I'm always doodling. But I doodled the Budgy, and I've got the original picture here.
Show us the Budgy doodle.
Oh, nice.
And that guy was like, there's something about this dude. I want to take him places. I want to hear him talk. I want to know more about him. And now he's got his own little book. He's got friends, enemies.
Yeah. I love it. And you can sort of see when you look at the comic as well, he hasn't moved that much from that original sketch. Like, it's a bit more refined, but
I like to keep him really simple. And he's quite quick to draw, and when you're using the pen, you just go, and then the two whips at the back, and you're like, that's my guy.
There you go.
That's my Budgy.
Unless you're Sizzle or I, and then the whip at the back is, oh God, what have I done? Now I have to start again. But very good. Okay, so so it sort of came out of that. The need to create and to get something out there and sort of, get those stories out there. So tell us a little bit about, for the uninitiated, Detective Budgy, the story, this issue, whatever you'd like to tell us about it.
Sure. So the first book, Detective Budgy Fly Hard, was my first comic, and it's a small little neat package.
Oh, nice.
It's all in color, and it's very much to the tune of Die Hard. It's lots of fun. It's a good one to sell in markets because people get it straight away. They're like, Fly Hard, Die Hard. And I'm like, it's Die Hard with puns, basically. There's lots of bird puns. There are so many bird phrases and bird puns that we use on a regular basis that I like to think people think I'm creative, the amount I can sneak into a book and get storyline and plot points to like overlap with them. I like to think people read my books and they're like, this guy gets bird puns. He's
very funny. Yeah.
So then that first book came out, and that was a fun journey, and I wanted to do a proper comic format, big long one, so I made hard boiled. And I wanted my drawing to improve, so I did it in black and white because I'm less reliant on color.
Okay. So that was a deliberate choice to work on the drawing.
Absolutely. That, and it becomes very like there's a film noir pastiche underneath it. He teams up with a private investigator. So you get all the noir references that I'm hoping people will enjoy. And I'm telling a larger Budgy story. These books are not quite connected. You can read them separately, but I like to think that when they're all finished, all my Budgy books, there'll be a strong through line through all of them.
Nice.
I can't elaborate on that.
That's fair enough. Sorry, I was just looking at Spedsy's latest comment. Do you want to bring that one up, Sizzle? The Die Hard reference, of course.
Not bad. Not one of my own, but it's pretty good. I think I use Clucker, if that's the difference.
Rolls off the tongue or the beak.
That's right. But the next book I actually want to feature more ducks because I haven't explored all the duck puns. So duck villains, mighty duck villains. It's
an interesting approach to be looking at it from which bird can I explore and how many puns can I get out of it? And
exactly.
That's an interesting creative choice.
Well, I create the characters first, and then this is Evelyn Stone. she becomes a sort of love interest.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of exploring the character, and then I thought, oh, if she's a goose, then I can say like, you give me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Wild Goose Chase. There's 6 or 7 more good goose references in there. And people who love goose or geese, they're gonna love this book.
They are. You will you'll get the ornithological group for sure. They'll jump at it. So tell us a bit about said Detective Budgy, or some of the main characters. So you referenced the love interest,
Yep.
who I love the way she's drawn, by the way. Just I don't know how to describe it, very tall, slim, a little bit, not dour, but, kind of rigid, and she's
she's
really,
a
really cool.
strong woman.
Yeah.
But because she's a goose, she's got like a nice slender look about her. But she shaves half her head, so she looks a bit hard. Everyone's really fun. But then the other main character who he kind of sneaks in is is Frank, the Black Galah, and he's an old detective of yesteryear, and he's been around. And together they don't get along, and there's a buddy relationship there that grows, and Frank's a fun character because he's very Australian. So I've got Dave Dye's books to the side of me when I'm writing his line, because I want him to be proper. And I like to think there's a blend between that noir tough talk that's very American, and blending that with Aussie idioms and bird puns all in once. And that's what I'm trying to push on people through the Budgy book. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And tell us about, I suppose, stepping back a little bit, some of the big film or game or comic or art influences that are really that you look at your story style and you think, I kind of lean on that, or I really love that, or it informs what you do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, I like to think Budgy's really simple. And when you're drawing a noir book with shadows and silhouettes and stuff, I always think of like the old Batman animated series, because it's like so crisp and simple. But my stuff gets really rough as well. Like, it comes sort of sketchy when it's violent. And obviously it's easy to reference like the Sin City books when you're making a noir book.
Yeah, black and white.
I don't think I learned film more, but his works, it's very much evident. I'm a fan. References. I talked about Rob Gilroy, who made the Chew series.
Love his stuff.
Yeah, like that's
amazing.
So clean, and like he draws like thin forearms and big hands and stuff like that. And it always looks flat, but it always looks 3D. It's like clever, toony stuff. So I like to think that I can channel some of that in there.
I can see it.
Cool.
Yeah, I can definitely see the influence. Yeah. And any sort of films, or obviously there's references to Die Hard. There's the whole noir genre, but anything that really stands out that you think, that I'd really drawn towards that style, or is it pretty much just I just want to tell stories?
I will say that I always think Budgy, because he's such an outcast, because he's the only dude with wings. That's his whole shtick, is that he's the only guy who can fly around in a bird person culture. So he's kind of revered or feared. So I always compare him to Superman, because he's kind of protecting this city as a detective, and people love him. People are sort of scared of him. There's an X-Men tone in there as well, because he's a freak. Here's Budgy's house. He lives above the city in a birdhouse, so I can watch over it.
Of course.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's not quite catching the light properly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So, Sizzle, I'm giving you a warning. There's a question coming your way, or for you to ask a question. But before we do that, I thought let's have a little look at the trailer about the book that we're talking about and the story, just to get people in the mood, in the vibe.
The vibe.
It's the vibe.
That's what. Okay.
Detective Budgy, the only walking, talking bird person in all of Avian City with wings, often labeled a freak, considered by many an outcast. Some even say he's an angel.
Nice.
Hey, good
I
stuff.
love the faces. I love the way you do the eyes and the beak and the just the intense expression on what are effectively birds. But it's got that really kind of like, and particularly with Budgy when he's given that look to the camera that's like, I'm stewing on this. This is deep. This is intense stuff, man.
He's a fun character to draw because he's like, I draw big, square, rectangle eyes, but then I close them all the way down. He's really kind of like Bugs Bunny in that way. Bugs has got tall eyes and he's very sly.
That's great, man.
I gave a book to a friend and he was like, he just picked it up, thumbed through it, and he was like, he's a quiet guy, and he's like, yeah, good expressions. I said, wow.
Thanks, man. Good expressions. Cheers for that. So before we go to Sizzle's question, I'm going to steal a question that he will probably ask, so that it forces him to come up with a better question, because we're always growing. So if you weren't writing comics as an outlet, so we know you've got film. That's what you were going to pick, wasn't it? That's exactly what you were going to pick. The same as last week. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. So if you weren't going to be, if comics wasn't your outlet, and we'll say because we know so much about the film side of things as well, if you didn't have film and comics, we're just cutting off all of your creative outlets.
Yeah, right.
What would you be doing, or what could you see yourself doing or enjoy doing?
I was thinking, like, as long as I'm telling stories, and then I was like, I could write a story, but like, I'm such a visual person, that wouldn't work for me. So I guess I would make sculptures in comic book form. Can you imagine that? You go to the museum, it's like sculptures telling a story. That'd be rad.
That would be amazing. Just a massive thing along a wall.
Just like panel to panel, wall to wall. That'd be cool.
So you were kind of gonna go this way anyway. There's no cutting this out of the film. You need those.
Idea. If I was follow it.
That's pretty good. It's you just need the surfaces and the permission. Oh, forget the permission. Just do it. It's modern graffiti, but with, Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for answering that. That was a great answer. And now I'm going to throw to Sizzle to come up with an awesome question.
You took my question.
I did.
It's all I had.
You're so tired too. Oh, it's all I had. Knocked that crutch right away. But we're all ears.
I'll go. We're all ears, are we?
Yeah. I'm going to swap glasses for this one. Put the big ones on so I can see. Look at that.
Well, I'm going to go for what's next after Detective Budgy.
I've got a few things. Well, the next Detective Budgy story is actually in the next ComX Presents Noir book. There is
the one that's out right now.
So that's my cover. And inside there is Detective Budgy School of Hard Knocks, which is an 8-page, sort of a little bit of a, like one of many I'd like to tell origin stories, where it's all about this is him in school, basically at a boarding school, and when he was at boarding school, he had to get chained up so he wouldn't fly away, and he got lots of bullying and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it tells a lot about his own story for justice and stuff like that, his own kind of path for equality, which is something that's important to Budgy, because he's not treated like one.
And are you thinking, I mean, you might not be thinking this far ahead, but are you thinking at any stage of a sort of collected volume or pieces or something?
It's something I'm thinking about, because these books are different sizes. I'm wondering if the next one should just be like horizontal and bigger.
Oh, wow.
And then people just can't keep up. So putting them all together is not possible. Oops, sorry, that's my thumb hitting that. So it's like I got to decide soon because the next book I want to have a very colorful, beachy vibe, like very breakpoint, very Miami Vice. That's the next genre I want to touch on, and I want to get color back in there. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's funny that comment that you just was that Spedsy?
That's Spedsy, yeah.
Spedsy, yep.
I told my girlfriend about how Budgy gets chained up on a daily basis, and she was like, "That's awful," and I was like, "That's great. If I can make people feel sorry for what is not like a real thing, like I'm doing something." Yeah. So she was in like, she reflected on that for a while. So
isn't that's one of the joys of creating something is making people feel stuff.
Yeah.
And
it can surprise you. Just little things like that is good. When you offend people through your little storytelling, you're like, yeah, great. And it's fun because he's chained up, but on the shackle over his ankle, it's got the police badge on it, which has got a bird with wings, like the Arcan. He's called an Arcanon in the book. So like he's chained up and he's looking at the symbol on the shackle, which is a free bird, and he's like, "What's going on here? This ain't fair."
And he's the only one that can fly. So he's the
only one. Like there's one born every few hundred years or something like that, and he's the current one. But no one knows why.
Story.
That's the bigger thing I want to explore and get to the bottom.
Okay, so I'm going to put it out there. You're not going to do this because why would you? But is there a Highlander thing going on here where another one's going to come in and like kill that one to get all this bird power? And
no, I've thought about, and this is something I probably won't explore, so I'm happy to talk about it. But it would be really cool if there was another winged creature around and it was a bat, a bat guy. And then maybe it was like a horror episode or a sort of vampire-y. So that's the kind of things I like to explore with Budgy is
cool.
He's so alone. And that's what the best superheroes are. They're so isolated. They're by themselves. They don't really have comrades and stuff. That's why they've got their fortresses and their bat caves and things. So yeah, if Budgy met a bat guy that was a villain, like he would sympathize with him. That might be fun. Yeah. And
I suppose the question would be, you probably answer yes, but would the bat guy have wings?
Yeah, the bat guy would be like
you would assume yes. Yeah. Which is, like you say, that's a point of connection between them, but he's the bad dude, but he's like me. Except he hangs upside down and pees on himself when he
that's
goes to sleep, which is a bit different.
And maybe he's from like an island where everyone's got wings, and Budgy's kind of like, what's the deal? Like, well, why? And why does no one here have wings but me? Like, that's to know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
There's lots of stuff that you can explore with that. Many winged beasts that you could look at. Have you ever thought of doing anything which, or does anything that you're writing or drawing sort of touch on real stuff that's going on, or maybe not necessarily political stuff, or historical, or you know what, like I think when this is wrapped up, when the Budgy books are done and that plot line that we're talking about, when that's wrapped up, I think there'll be some really clear thematic things happening that people will be able to go, oh, that's interesting. And then I won't want to talk about it. I'll just want to get people to say, that's interesting. And then I feel like there's a certain cutoff point when you're just talking about your art with someone where they're like, why did you do that? And that's when you go, well, that's for you to figure out. You just mysterious.
I've done my part. You've asked the question. Now, yeah. That's
taken a very cerebral turn all of a sudden, where we're the distance between the creator and the viewer and all that stuff.
I'm hoping by the last Budgy book that it's become quite a cerebral thing that's been decorated with bird puns and bird poo jokes and various film references. I'm hoping it's a good track.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Mm.
So what's the challenging thing about doing it? Sounds like I get the vibe you love this and you love the story and you love getting involved in the the saga. What's the most challenging thing about it for you? Or
You know,
comics
like
in
drawing
general?
comics, like it's such a time suck. Like that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And I think I'm disciplined now, and it's taken me a long time to be like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. I better put an hour in. I'm gonna draw some pages. I'm gonna do some story notes. I'm gonna start coloring in, and then every day you're just chipping away at this stone. But I think after this is 90 pages, you get really good at just forming habits and telling yourself it's time to put some work into that book. And I'm trying to get that stuff to fold over into like a gym routine as well. So it's tricky, but I can see like there's links in my brain that something's happened. There's some sort of discipline that I've learnt through drawing and writing a dense book like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very, very common theme. Just every artist that we speak to, that's a very common thing, that it's just so time consuming, so much effort.
Yeah.
And do you find, actually, you referenced it earlier on, do you find as you get better and then you look back at earlier artwork and you think, man,
and I've talked about this at length because I love reading people's first comic, and then the second book's like just a little bit tighter, and the third book you're like, oh, they've figured it out now. And I was really aware of that between my two books, that I actually, it's funny you asked this, I actually was like, I made a conscious effort to make the art grow, sort of. So as the book starts, it's very black and white. I keep it very simple. And then I start to introduce polka dots, the halftone effect, just gently.
Yeah.
And then after a time, this is a spoiler. After a time, there's more gradients in all of it, in the halftones.
I love that.
Subtle.
Yeah.
And then after a while, we're in the grays. And then it keeps going halfway through the book.
Yeah.
So color doesn't come into it. I'll let you know. But there's more things happening, and it's becoming more dense, and he's figuring out more clues. So I like to think that I'm aware of that artist's journey, and I'm trying to lean into it, not shy about it. And I know that he looks better by the end of the book than he does at the start, just out of drawing, not just what I'm drawing with players.
But there's it ties in nicely, because as a reader, you're starting off at the start of the story and you're learning more about him as he develops, and then he's growing and he's developing, and so it kind of fits nicely. If it was the other way around, it would be an interesting one.
Yeah, that's right.
If it just got simpler and simpler, and then just white
maybe
page.
he got beat up on the head and he was just a bit dumb for a moment.
Just went funny. Actually, I'd thought of that. I wanted to ask whether you've any artist, because you were mentioning before about how some areas, like the action areas, you'll get more sketchy rather than refined. I love that idea of when the protagonist is hit in the head or something happens, that all of the artwork kind of suffers a little bit for a while, until it's kind of nice, because it's it's a nice visual cue that something's not right here.
Well, I remember reading an Alex Ross comic, and I'm just going through each page because he's painting all these panels, and I'm just taking my time with it. And then you put that down, you pick up any other comic book, and you're just you're whipping through. So I feel like the more dense the artwork is, it changes how you move through the page, at least for my eyes.
That's a good point.
And it's such a mystery comic book reading. Trying to communicate pace is so tricky. And I'm always aware of that, especially because I'm trying to tell jokes, and timing's all humor. So I try to get all my puns at the bottom right panel, so that there's a joke at the end of the page, and then you turn.
Nice.
And that's tricky, because sometimes you want a big spiel, you want lots of dialogue before that final punchline. You want a little amp up, and then you want a gap, and then you want Budgy to just say something like, I don't know, a cool bird pun, which won't come to me straight away.
And that's a pain if you're at that point and you're not quite at that point, and you're at the end of the page and you're about to turn What do? Do you push it for another 2 pages and just
No,
keep him
I'm
talking?
always-
Or do you know?
I'm always biting to get it at the thing, so you go, ha, and then you turn the page. There's only a few occasions where you're like, and then I'm hoping it's a bigger reveal. I don't know, but I'm always thinking about it, and I think that's evident because a lot of scenes happen by page rather than scattered through.
You're right. It's a very interesting dynamic, and it's very. This is where novel writing is so much easier because you just keep going, and then end of the chapter here, and you don't have that limit of pages and all that sort of stuff. It's a unique thing to comics, I think. How has your film background, love of film and cinema and all that, and also the work that you've done, how has that influenced the way that you draw comics, do you think? Or how have you adapted and moved from one to the other?
Well, I would storyboard all my work, so I like to think I'm always thinking about timing and stuff like that. But when you're storyboarding, you've always got the same size frame.
Right.
So when you got a comic, you quickly learn that that's where the game changes and size is different. So I'm always thinking about speed. It's kind of the same answer. I'm trying to communicate speed and pace through art, through size of shapes, through the size of the picture and how dense the artwork is inside it, the details. Yeah. And I find it's really challenging when you're making a book and you're always looking for new ways to break it up as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I still don't get it. I'm still trying to figure that one out myself. Hats off to those that have figured it out. Well done.
Yeah. And I bet those people probably aren't even aware of it as a thing. They just tell, they're just drawing what they think is important, and we're picking up on it. I bet everyone reads a comic differently. It's not like a film where we all get the same sort of flow.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, because depending on how quickly you read, depending on if you go words first versus image first, or you skip between both, and where that's really interesting. So, couple of questions, which we're used to in this show. You can either pick Budgy or one of the other characters. You're sitting down, let's say at the point he is now, so in terms of linear history, where he is now, not when he was younger and chained by the system. You've got 5 minutes to talk to him. What's the advice that you give him?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's funny because friends will read the book and they'll be like, this is fun. Are you Budgy? You're Budgy, aren't you?
Really?
I guess. Yeah, like that nose beak. It's the same thing, right? He's a handsome guy. He's getting around town.
You've got wings, so you know.
Right? What would I tell Budgy? I feel like he'd know. I think we're already connected. We just need to look at each other and nod, and he'll be like,
nod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
There you go. You
Sort of a
wouldn't say
answer,
anything. You would
cool
just
answer.
nod.
That's a cool answer.
Okay, now we're gonna go forward and we're gonna go backwards, but I'm going to go to the next protagonist-related question. So you're in the car, he's in the back, you're up at McDonald's or whatever your favorite fast food is. What does he order? I'm guessing what you've just said before, you're probably both ordering the same thing anyway.
I just look at him and I look at him and he looks back
and just nod.
It's funny that you say he's in the back seat because it's in the book. He tells Frank, I'm not getting in that car. Like, I don't do cars unless you want to drive really slowly and I'm in the back seat because he gets car sick. He has to control his own speed and pace around town,
momentum and stuff.
So I'd be driving very slowly for old Budgy at the back seat. And I've thought about this question because there's something about Budgy in that he doesn't know why he loves certain things or why he leans to being a bird, where a bird human doesn't. So he would order a Big Mac and he wouldn't know this, but he just loves the sesame seeds on top. He just absolutely loves it. And he might even pick them off like a little bit and like chew them a little. He's not aware that he does that. So
That's great, and that's the only thing you could get there that would have it. I think.
I think
from
you're
memory.
right.
I think so. Yeah.
He wouldn't be
actually.
really fussy about, as long as it's got the sesame seeds on top, and he's happy.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Very, very good answer. Speaking of questions, Sizzle, would you like another one? Sizzle's headphones have just gone off, so
Yeah,
we're
looks
going
like
to
he's
keep
like-
going because that's
Speaking
not
to
a.
someone else.
Yeah, that's right. The
Houston?
FBI have just said FBI, AFP, whatever we are. So if there's now, I'll count out anyone that you've already worked with in the Friday night draws and that sort of stuff. Is there anyone in the industry or any sort of industry that you would really love to work with, that you just love to collaborate with on a project?
I'd love to write some stuff and get artists to draw my stuff. That'd be a cool thing to do.
Nice.
That would be cool.
Because I kind of want to draw my own stuff. But if I was, I don't know. So if I could get Rob Gilroy in from his take a break from, I think he's making Farmhand at the moment. That'd be really fun. See how he handles the budgie.
There's a question for you.
What song would Detective Budgy play if he were at a party? On Instagram, I've got a few.
My sound keeps dropping out.
Fly Like an Eagle by Hendrix's son or whatever. I Believe I Can Fly.
So anything with fly in the
and what's that chick? I'm like a bird on a highway. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Mitch
Thank you for
Larry.
the question. Very good. Very good. Okay. Can you hear us, Sizzle?
I can now. It keeps going in and out. I don't know what's going on.
I was going to throw to you for another question if you want one, but no pressure if you don't want one.
I don't want one.
You don't want one. All right. Very good.
Just wants to look at comments, throw them up there.
Yeah, that's all I do.
That's what he wants to do. Fair enough. Fair enough. You do the heavy lifting. I'll stick to the questions. Crap! I just forgot the question that I was going to ask. Yes. So currently, other than your own work, what are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? Or where do you go for inspiration when you need to think about new ideas for the budgie?
I can reach my current book. I'm reading I'm trying to work my way through the Hellboy books.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Trying sounds like I'm struggling. They're great.
Yeah.
And the artwork's always so simple as well and clean and cool. He keeps it really simple, really strong. So I'm reading Hellboy at the moment. What am I watching? My girlfriend and I just finished Ted Lasso. We loved Ted Lasso. That was the best. So I recommend that to everyone. Mr. Velocity is a character I'm working on for an 8-page presents book that's like months away, or it might get bumped.
Yeah, it's all the way. Yeah.
But Mr. Velocity is a character I'm working on, and he's kind of like a jetpacky dude that flies around. And there's some like, it's based in the future, so there'll be a little bit of like political themes in there. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And you're writing and drawing, obviously?
Yeah. I mean, Rob's put me on the spot. I can show you a preview.
Oh, exclusive previews, people. You heard it first.
All right, here we go. Share screen. That one. So there's Mr. Velocity.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. Zoom in a bit. That's awesome.
That is very awesome.
So it's sort of like a jetpacky dude with a Buzz Lightyear get up.
Yeah, I love it. And the magic purple force thing.
Woo, purple.
Yeah. He shoots light, and then the gimmick is, and I was hoping to save this, but the gimmick is he can then like freeze the light. Like he calls it hard light technology. So for instance, he could freeze that and then use it as a step. Or basically he's snapped off one of his lasers and he's using it as a spear now. So
that is very cool.
And
I can totally see Gilroy in that. Yeah. I love the thin limbs.
Yeah, there's definitely
size head.
Yeah, like the proportions are out but balanced.
Yeah, they just work. They're so nice. I'm immediately jealous. But we have next question, and this is the big one. Everyone's been waiting for it. Favorite meal, watching, favorite film. What would that combination look like for you?
Oh, right. I'm all about comfort food. Like, just keeping it simple. It's like a bowl of nachos or something.
Oh God, I haven't had
and I'm
nachos.
watching. This flicked on the other day. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. That's my favorite film. It's such a classic.
Yeah.
Nice.
And for a film made in the 60s, like it's so stylized. There's always something clever going on in the direction. The music's out of this world. And when you watch a film like that, it changes how you watch Star Wars and stuff. Like all the references are just taken and used through all pop culture.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was even saying, like in the latest Book of Boba Fett episode, there's two cowboy characters, and they're basically arguing over who's more like Clint Eastwood. Like they're really just aggressively saying, "No, I've got the hat. Well, I can squint more." Like, well, when I step into the frame like this, the camera sits on my hip, just like in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and they just
I know the scene you're talking about. It's amazingly well done, and the one dude with the hat tipped down so you don't see the eyes until right.
And that's a Clint Eastwood thing as well, that kind of.
Yeah. Which I'd always thought would be just amazing if when the reveal happened, he was just totally cross-eyed. That would be
right.
Just, like amazing. He's not going to hit anything. He's going to be. That would just be so funny, but it would ruin the moment.
That reveal is strong because you just had this blue claw mouth, and then the hat came up, and they were big red eyes. And not only were they big, they were Clint Eastwood squinty, over the top. He even had like the crow wrinkles. It's the term.
Yeah.
Crow's feet.
You've been drawing birds too long, dude.
Crow's feet.
Crow's feet that has not appeared, so I'm just going to write that down.
Write that down. Yeah. That's going to make the next appearance.
All the good puns, crow's feet, so that I can work plot points to them. So people think I'm clever.
Absolutely. All right, we're now up to my favorite. Are we, Sizzle, or have you got something else you want?
No.
Okay.
We're up to your favorite part.
We're up to my favorite part.
This will be your
definite
favorite part because there was no cheating from me this week.
No cheating this week. Wow.
No cheating.
So we both did this 10 minutes, first draft, no sketching, right in there in homage.
Okay, maybe I cheated a little.
Okay, so you spent an hour and you sketched that bastard, didn't you? Anyway,
I
haven't seen it, so we'll see. All right, when you're ready for the big reveal, sir.
What we're going to do mine first because yours is actually the superior picture here.
Yeah,
I went for a very quick. Mine was like under 3 minutes. Mine was shocking. I didn't even get the ink out, so I apologize. Quick, I was trying to live to the quick name, so.
Hey, he's a pretty boy.
That's right. That's so good. I like the love heart instead of a police badge.
I was going to say, is that a badge or is it like a Valentine's card or something?
Yeah, a little Valentine's card. Yeah.
He kind of looks like he's wearing a diaper, and now he's one of those like archery babies. The little love heart.
If Budgy ever had a kid, maybe that's how the kid's going to be dressed. To be like Daddy, walk around. And would the kid have wings is a question, I suppose.
That is a question.
It maybe depends how much he's figured out along the way.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Now we go to the masterpiece here.
Hey.
No, bars hold or whatever the expression is. Hold bars. I can't hold bar. Yeah.
No bars at all.
Crow's feet.
No bars at all. He even used color.
First time ever. Woo! Full color, ladies and gentlemen.
I know which picture you've looked at to draw that as well.
I know exactly, and it's recognizable. I was so happy that it's recognizable, and it's the first one that I've done color on. So there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah, rad. I like it.
He's got wings because he's the only one with wings.
There you go. Well, my last book had a little submit your art section. It was like a little over half a page. Cool. But my next book, I'm going to have like 2 pages because the ComX crew got on board, and I've got 15, 16. Probably get more by then if I ask. So yeah, I got a lot to share. Yeah,
that is awesome. Well, thank you, sir. We'll be sending those to you, and you may treasure them at your will.
Please do.
Straight away, he goes to, if Budgy has a kid, you got to chain that kid up. Just to get him used to what it's going to be like at school. Man.
Hey, pick up the book at ComX.shop. You can get both of them there.
Hey.
Yeah, awesome. Or you can go to detectivebudgy.com and talk to me directly and pick up bookmarks and stickers or whatever you got to do. As long as you're reading the book.
Sweet.
I'm
fantastic. Good. And in the is it the current presents or is it the
one that's the Kickstarter that's happening right now has the Detective Budgy story in it.
Yeah, and you can get my cover. Then I can brag to the other people about how I got the most.
You got the most covers. Yeah, so everyone, Nick's cover. Let's get those figures up.
Thing. People like get really rowdy about it and behind the scenes. There's been blood spent over this. It's
Hey, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Cool. Okay, so ComX Shop, DetectiveBudgy.com, and go to Kickstarter and support the Kickstarter that's on at the moment for Presents number 3. That's 3. That's 6. So I'll go 3.
Number 3.
Very good. Thank you very much.
We'll get the right link.
Talking to you. There we go.
Thanks,
There's the link. Great to have a chat.
Yeah, it's cool to like answer questions that you think about in your head and have to like push them out into sentences. It's different. Yeah.
Words are weird.
Words are weird. I just want to draw my stuff. So.
Yeah. I have to talk because. Yeah. Then again, I can draw. You've all seen it. Everyone's seen it.
We've seen it.
I can totally draw.
Totally.
Cool. All right. Over to you, Sizzle.
This is the part where I get to say, see you later, Nick. Thanks for coming in.
I'll see you Friday night for some quicks.
See you Friday night for some quicks. Don't forget, people, Friday night, drink and draw. Quick is our main attraction at these times with these little quick jokes.
I'll take it.
So, yeah, take it. And I've got to scroll down and find the video. I downloaded way too many pictures.
In the meantime, here's some animated Budgy.
Oh, nice. Nice.
By Alex Major.
Is that Alex's? Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah. They're very cool. Okay, cool. Next section. Here we go. Oh, you got something else? Sorry.
Well, I was just trying to fill time, but I think this was the unanimous winner on Budgy Night. People love this one.
Oh, yeah. That is so good.
The Judge Budge was very popular.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Oh, well done, Duncan.
Nice one, Duncan.
Yeah. I love it.
Now let's Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick.
Hey, good one.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Totally makes D&D go. Woo! And I found the picture. Yeah, AusComX. Woo!
Yeah, man. That was cool. He's an awesome dude. And it was great getting that perspective on the Budgy, but also the film stuff and everything. Really cool perspective. It's awesome.
Yeah. I like that.
Awesome.
So, shall I go first, or do you want to go first with your unveiling?
Oh, you go first, bro. I'll
go first.
Unveil my goods later.
Let's see if I put it up top. I actually thought I would actually support the man who supports me so much at ComX.
Yeah.
With a Bronwyn, everyone says this is a review, but it's not really a review. All I do is say this was awesome.
Please,
great time. It's like it's sort of like an anthology, but sort of isn't. It jumps between time periods between each story. So the first time I read it, I was a little lost. But that was only because I was expecting something different. Once you realize that's what it's all about, then it's like, oh, okay, that's what's happening. It's all about
Yeah,
that. And it's the Further Adventures. Now, for those who don't know, there is a Bronwyn series. And this is the Further Adventures to that Bronwyn series. And there's actually
So you got to
three
get the first one.
Three. This is continues on from the first three.
and then these ones. Yeah.
And then these ones.
Got it,
So
gotcha.
that's where it was a little confusing. It wasn't like majorly confusing. I didn't like fall on the ground screaming. Because that would be really confusing. And but yeah, it was a great story. I love Zach's art. I'm a huge fan. I'm a bit of a fanboy. I just love the way he does his color. I love the way he does his art. It's great.
So,
it's great art. It's great storytelling. He actually researches the history. He puts all these things in the right time periods. You know, she's fighting the Romans at the same time that the Romans were actually in Ireland. So, yeah. So, yeah, it's very cool. And get the other three. They're actually available at ComX Shop. And so there you go. I get to plug myself there for a little bit. And let's see if someone's having a go at my plugging. Hey, it's Bronwyn. Oh, look at that. We've got Zach himself.
There we go. Woo! And mine is coming. Mine will be here soon. So I'm excited to get my hands on the Bronwyn. That's going to be great.
The art is great.
Cool.
The story's great. And I love the history and the whole warrior woman mystic magic shit that's going on.
Yeah. It is cool. All right. So unveiling of a package that came through.
Unveiling because he didn't read anything.
Because I didn't read anything. Because we're probably all aware of this one, but dun 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 dun. Oh crap.
Oh.
I just hit the mic. So this is
awesome.
Angry Squad by Lucas Sheffel.
Nice.
So this just came in a couple of days. Angry Fred Comics, obviously. So yeah, that's just came in. That was a while ago. I think I supported that campaign, and I got some extra stuff in here. And I didn't mean to break that when I opened it.
Oh shit! What'd you break? The bag?
Oh, it's just the baggy thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
nice
that's right then.
Nice and thick. All right, so how do I do this? Let's see if we can.
Yes.
That.
And let me zoom in on you, Lucas. I was surprised. I didn't realize the book was so big.
Yeah, it's a nice size.
That's awesome. It's a really good book.
Nice and chunky, nice and meaty. So I'm looking forward to tucking into that one shortly. Thank you, Lucas. Fantastic, awesome work. Another great Aussie indie creator. And yeah, so that's my super awesome Angry Squad reveal. And also, again, I cannot love stories enough that have old dudes in them because I am myself an old dude or heading that way. That's for sure. I feel like it.
Speaking of old dudes.
Yeah.
I got the add-on in this particular. Yeah. So
Kickstarter
campaign. Yep. And if I can get him up.
Oh, wow. You got the old dude Lego man with the cigar. That's so cool.
With the cigar. It's not focusing, but here we go. There he is.
That is so cool. That is awesome.
And the best part, he was in a bag, stick tape to the back of the cardboard. I forgot I got him. I almost threw the cardboard out.
Oh, no.
That would be horrible.
That reminds me of a story of someone that ordered that got a ComX cap and some comics and stuff and didn't realize that the second part of the box had the hat in it. Yes, that was me. And that almost went in the bin. If you hadn't have told me, it was gone. And then I would have been, where is it, bro? What's going on? There you go. That's awesome. Makes me wish I had got that one.
He's in my special spot, little Lego Angry Fred.
Cool. With his special cigar that is only a cigar.
It's only a cigar. A massive, bloody, huge cigar. But yes, a cigar nonetheless.
It is a big cigar. So did you want to quickly show the Kickstarter campaign for Presents? We'll see where we're up to.
Oh.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I was gonna say my screens aren't set up for it at the moment. Hang on.
Let me have a look, see if I can bring it up.
Here, I've got it.
You got it?
Yep.
It's time. It's shameless promo time.
Shameless promo time. And system audios. Let's get that video
he's
playing
drawing
while we're
pictures
there.
as well. Nick's drawing pictures.
Oh,
everybody.
there's my air thing's gone again.
Oh,
damn it!
All right. So what are we up to? We're 972. So we're
Okay.
about 2/3 of the way.
I can't hear anything.
Okay. I'll keep talking. This is going to be.
No, I got
Great.
nothing.
All right.
As soon as I put that up, it all went dead.
Why don't you take it down and I'll give it a go and see if I can work it or something.
No, hang on.
It's this
Got a
newfangled
solution.
technology.
He's got speakers. He's got
Is it working
the
now?
ability to go. This is riveting television.
Can you hear us? Yeah.
Now I can hear you through
All
the
right.
speakers. That was awesome.
Yes.
That was great stuff. Stupid
Well done.
bloody computer.
All right. So where are we at? We're 2/3 of the way through. We need to get some more of them backers in. Tons and tons of things on offer. There's what?
Yep.
How many? Is there like 8 different covers?
There
Or
is 4 covers
4 covers.
by each. What it is there's 4 stories in each book.
Yeah.
Each creator or creative team did their own cover. Variant cover. Each variant cover has all the characters from the book put into one scene. So this is Isaac George's cover with Bronwyn, Vivian, and I always forget Karate Dude's name, so I just call him Karate Dude.
Country
Alien,
Jack.
Demons, there you go. Very technical. And here they are again, but this is Ed's version of them.
Yeah. So cool.
Spedsy's version of them. And I'm a big fan
Nice.
of Peter's version of them.
Nice.
And we've got Noir. And this is the one that Nick is in. So this is Alex's
That's
cover.
Alex's one, yeah.
Yep. And then we've got this is Lee Chalker and Ryan Bella's cover. They were a team
Sweet.
together on the story Rosie, Ring Around the Rosie, sorry.
Yeah.
And this is Alster's cover.
Cool.
I love this one. We've got
Ooh,
Budgy over
I see
here
a Budgy.
flying in with the photo of the Santa Cat. And then we have Nick's cover. And then, we'll just samples of the pages and so forth. I won't go through that. I will actually go back to the top if I can see where the bar is. And we will play this video, which hopefully has sound. Does it have sound?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yes. Nice.
I'm glad you could hear that.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Computer's having so much fun. Yeah, pretty much. Nice one, Nick. Nice one.
That's about the sum of it right there.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. So we're at 972 of our 1500 goal, 24 backers. So we need probably about another 15 at the average pledge. So it's got some great things in there. It's not just the books. You can get the books. You can get all 4 covers. You can get just one of each cover. You can get. My personal favorite is the tier where you actually the pledge level. It gives you the ability to appear on the Drink and Draw show. and we
Yeah,
draw
that's cool.
whatever you want.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That is
lots of
really
awesome
cool.
stuff like Peter Lane he's saying. So yeah, get in there. Presents. I am so bad at navigating this.
That's
Always
right.
press
People
the
can also they can search on Kickstarter. You know,
They can search on Kickstarter, but
one.
this is the short link, presents.comx.studio. They will take you straight to the Kickstarter. Go through, find the level that suits you, find the thing that you want, and yeah, pledge away, and we'll get that out. We are actually getting the proof has been sent out. If that all goes ahead, we'll actually have these printed and ready to ship before the Kickstarter's over.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
These will
Very
be
nice.
shipping with, if all goes well, fingers crossed. These will be shipping the week after the thing's finished.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, in the spirit of shameless promotion, it's so true. It's so true. You just open them and you look at the stuff, and it's awesome, and then you're done. That's it. Reading it, it's so much effort. It's so much effort. Cool. All right. So, in the spirit of shameless promotion, do you mind if I steer for 2 seconds? All right.
Get in there. I will get rid of that little message.
Preparing to steer. Let's see if I can.
Do it, man. Do it.
Bam. 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 Yes. All right. So, my own little effort, if you will. Can you see that, dude? Is that up? I'm guessing it's up. Cool.
Yeah. It's up.
This is Shadow's Daughter, a campaign that I've got up at the moment. So anyone, any Aussie backer that backs me will get a free PDF copy of The Blood Below, which is a comic which hasn't been released yet, and it's awesome, and I can't wait to show you. But anyway, so you'll get an extra comic. Also, if you have a look, there is an extra comic from another artist that you'll get if you back early. So there's some early backing that you can do. 6 issues. 6. That's 6 issues. 6 issues, all ready to go. They're all finished except for the drawn-in options, so they are good to go. So you will get all of those as well. Oh, see, there you go. They're all over 40 pages. Some of them are a fair bit more than 40 pages. So it's like 340-odd pages worth of comics. 2 color, 4 black and white. There's some amazing covers, including a couple of Aussie things coming up. So these are the covers. There's one that just got unlocked today. That one got unlocked. Another one that got unlocked was this one. Amazing art by Daniel Reed. Oh, nice. Fantastic. That just got unlocked. There's another one there. So yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff. That's kind of the look and feel of the color one. So it's kind of a manga-esque sort of thing, but not Western manga. So it's not, manga. 4 black and white issues that are kind of backstories to the main thing. The whole story is about someone called Summer, who is a shadow mancer. She can bend shadow to her will. She's also a bounty hunter. It's really cool. And there's lots of different tiers, lots of cool stuff. So by all means, get in, have a look. And as I said, anyone that backs it, any Aussie that backs it will get a free copy of The Blood Below, which is another comic that I've got up and running, and anything. Nice. So if you back it for $2, you'll still get that comic because Australia,
yes,
and why not? So thank you very much. Shameless plug. Over.
Nice, very nice. Well, I guess that's us for the night.
Except there's one more drawing. He's still drawing. It's so good. We never have the drawing on our show. This is a treat.
This is great.
I love it.
Master.
I love it. I'm going to print that. I'm going to print that right now because that is fantastic. Oh, so good. So good. Thanks, Nick. That is awesome. Woohoo!
Much appreciated. And good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and see you next week. Same AusComX show time, same ComX show channel. I did it.
You did it. Well done. 5s. Well done, bro.
Good night, all. See you next week. See you at Drink and Draw. I don't know. I just ruined everything. Here we go.
All right. There you go.